Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy May Day. And today, I might be English, but I'm not going to be dancing around the maypole doing Morris dancing or anything like that. I don't think anybody does that anymore. But anyway, welcome back to Day Trade with Tony. I am, of course, Tony. And this is today's trade recap. And what a day. So if you follow my channel and you're a regular to my channel, then you realize that last week was just an amazing week. We started off the extremes, if you will, polar extremes. Started off with a huge red day on the Monday. Started off the Tuesday pretty bad and then turned it around and finished over goal. Had a reasonably quiet Wednesday. Then my biggest ever trading day on Thursday with my biggest ever trade. And another great day on Friday. What essentially last week signaled, and I'm looking back over it now, even the big loss on Monday was the return to volatility. The volatility, where there's volatility, there's opportunity. And last week it showed that there was huge. So we finished off April, best month ever. And we beat March by $1,000, so best month ever. And I thought, oh, coming into May, I didn't want to take any big trades coming into May. I wanted to just take it easy, wind back, hence why I was going to be doing the small account challenge. And like an idiot, so I primed my account, my small account. I primed it with $500 last week, and I made sure it was all there, ready to, on Friday. It was all activated, and it was ready to go. I think I had about $504. Ready to go, start the week this week on Monday. Completely forgot that data and platform fees get charged on the last day of the month, and it's not pro rata. It's in arrears. So it doesn't matter if you open your account on the 20th or if you open it on the 1st. The last day of the month, they will charge you for the month in arrears, full platform and data fees. So I came to my trading desk this morning and I thought, hang on a minute, where's my balance on the small account? Supposed to have over $500 here, but no, there wasn't, because the platform and data fees had been taken out. So I've been in touch with them and I've transferred across, so I should be able to start the small account challenge tomorrow, and hopefully everything will be cleared and we'll be able to do that from an hour before the market opens. So otherwise it might be at the open or whatever. But they've assured me that it will hit my balance. I'm just waiting for official notification via email that the balance will be updated and it will be ready for me to trade tomorrow. So a small account challenge should start tomorrow. I say small, I mean really small. We're talking $500. Now, one thing that I would say is coming into May, we were 2 months ahead, pro rata on the year. So it meant that we didn't have to worry about hitting goals for the year. We're not going to fall behind on the year by concentrating on the small account. That was my thinking. But today I didn't have the small account to trade, so I took some trades. I took a couple of trades pre-market, and what was moving, a lot of the Chinese stocks were moving today. No specific news catalyst on them, but a lot of Chinese stocks were moving today. And the Huadi had a good move as well today. And I was up over double gold before the bell. So I was at $13,000. And I gave some back, then recovered that. And then I traded again. And then I finished the live stream, shut down. I was about $19,000 up. So it was a really good day, really good Monday, good start to the day. I thought, okay, I'm locking a montage, taking the dog for a walk. I had a couple of people come round, collecting some furniture that I had here that's gone into storage. So they've come around and taken that away for me. So I closed the stream down. $19,000 up, and that's great. Went away, walked the dog, was in the park, checking my phone in the park. I'm in the Discord, and GDC, so GD Culture Group, was moving up stupid amounts. He went into a halt, and it was such a long halt. It was about half an hour. Now, I'm walking the dog at this time, and when it resumed, it gapped up huge amounts, and then into another halt. Gapped up again into another halt. the volatility, it was extremely volatile, big moves. People in the Discord are calling out the gains they made on it, the profits they made on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting FOMO, right? I'm walking, I'm outside walking the dog. There's nothing I can do. I got FOMO, and I came back, and I missed the first. I missed the move, so I was on the back end of the move, and then I got a little bit of a pop. So I managed to get a bit of a pop, and I made a nice little, I think about 12,000 on that. Just 2,500 shares in, add to the position, move up, got stopped out, 5,000 shares, trailing stop. So I thought that's okay. And then I traded Leju, Leju was the ticker. And again, this is another Chinese stock, so Leju Holdings, and this had a really good day. It was a $2 stock yesterday. Or Friday, should I say. It was $2 stock Friday. It opened under $2, and it moved up to almost $10 across the course of today. I traded it between 7 and kind of 9.50 or whatever it was, and managed to make nearly $13,000 on this one stock alone. So I was, at this stage, like $30,000, having time of my life. Again, I couldn't believe that this was such a big day, given what I'd had on Thursday, a $49,000 day on Friday, 132,000 on Thursday. In case you're wondering, just go back and check out the replay there. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm kind of up over $30,000 now, so that's 25% of my monthly goal. And I wasn't even planning on really trading that much in my main account this month. Well, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So I decided to trade GDC again. I saw it was moving, and GDC or GD Culture Group, it was moving up again, and I traded it a little bit more, made a little bit more profit. Wild, the spreads were wild. The range was like $2.40. The average true range, like $2.40. Extremely volatile. But where there's volatility, there's opportunity. So I'm thinking, okay, do I wait for a breakout and go in big? Say big, like 2,500 shares like I did before, or do I just scale in? So I did a little bit of both. I went in, I built up a cushion, and I got, you know, a really good position. I managed to go in with, I ended up scaling into like 10,000 shares, and it went into a halt. I managed to take half off, so for 5,000 shares, and it went into a halt, and it gapped up. I think it was $3.5, and straight up into another halt. So I'm sat there kind of jaw dropping. I'm thinking, this is just mental, the volatility that we're seeing here. Now, granted, the spreads were as much as $1. I think the widest the spreads went were about $1.50. But the range, as I say, was like 240, 250. So the range was covering the spreads. The spreads did narrow, and they went down to like 40 cents. At one stage, between 70 and 40 cents was kind of the average on the spreads, but it was just so volatile that the spreads didn't really matter, and it just continued to move up. And I've recorded the trade, so what I'll do, I'll break it down and put some of the larger moves on the back of this this recap. And as a result, I've had my biggest ever trade. I wouldn't say it's my best. I would still say that the way that I traded Top Financial last Thursday was probably my best trade, but not quite my big. I did 77,000 on Top Financial on Thursday, and I've had just under $90,000 on GD Culture today. So on top of that, $12,500 on Leju, another 5,000 on Huadi. And then OX, which was another one that I traded pre-market, was $6,500, and nearly $8,000 on SNTG. So altogether, huge day, 121,494. I don't know how to explain it. I've never had this many big days in a row before. That's the entire month's goal in one day. Where there's volatility and opportunity. It's my biggest ever trade in my career up until last week was 102,000. Not my biggest ever trade. My biggest ever day in my career was $102,000, and that was back in October 2021. And we had some extreme volatility with DWAC and PHUN, plus trading the warrants, and it was a great day for trading, to the long side in particular. And I didn't think that I would have such big days again, because that a six-figure day is just virtually unheard of for me. I've had one up until last week, then I've had a huge one last Thursday, and I've just had another one today. Lord knows it needs to be a regular thing, but I'll take that. But I'm not expecting it to be regular. In fact, if the small account, because I'm over goal now, I'm now 3 months ahead on the year pro rata, based on, if I look at the end of April and one day. So I'm looking at pro rata. We're 3 months ahead for the year. So tomorrow I want to be looking at the small account, assuming that it's ready to go. It's good and ready to go. $500, and we'll be looking at the small account, and I'll be backing off, being very disciplined. And it's going to hurt because I've been very gung-ho, I've been very aggressive, and it's good to be aggressive when the timing is right. And this last few days, the timing has been right to be aggressive. And I haven't been particularly overly aggressive. It's like on Friday, I made $23,000 on Top Financial with 500 shares. An initial position of 500 shares. I think I made 4,000 on the first half of that. The other half, I just let it ride, and I made another 19,000. So just 250 shares, $19,000. So you don't have to be overly aggressive to make good money if the stock there's enough volatility in the stock to give you the gains that you're looking for. But we never know. You're never going to know how a stock moves up today. So if I look at GDC, for example, GDC moved up over 1,300% on the day today. It finished on Friday, it was $2.50. And it went up today to $44. So this is what I'm talking about, the volatility. I mean, you can't legislate for that. You can never anticipate a stock is going to move, 1,500%. But you just can't. You can't do that. So, of course, when it does do that, you need to be in the right position to take advantage of it. And today I was in the right position. So to go from like $2.50 to $44. It's phenomenal. That doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen every week or even every month. But if you can take advantage of that, great. And I was able to do that today. So a huge move, huge move. Anyway, let's talk about let's talk through what I actually did today, and how we've actually made money and such. So what was the first thing? Was it Huadi or NNOX that I traded first? It was Huadi. So let's have a look at Huadi first. So Huadi, we traded Huadi initially on this move up here. We traded Huadi here, with them as it started to pull back, we got out. So nice move. It was a good move. The reason I was trading, so Huadi was one I made some good money on last week, and I was watching it for a continuation. So it started to move up, got this pullback, and then we started to see the volume coming in. So I was able to get in here, and it broke $8. So I got in for, it broke $8, and I was able to ride that up and get over a whole dollar move on that to start off with. I wasn't going in big. I didn't go in big. It did pull back, and then as it started to make its move back up again, I got in on this part here and made the rest. So Hardy made just over $4,500 on Hardy. That was the first trade of the day. Then I traded NNOX, so NanoX imaging. So this had an FDA approval on a new imaging technology that they've developed. And this one switched off on Hardy and then started to trade this one. As this gapped up, it had the move up here first, then the pull back, and then as it moved up here, I got in for the break of $9. It moved up, and I was just able to ride that all the way up. I took half the position off up at the top, and then as it started to pull back, I was using limit orders, and this kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I took half the position off at the top, and then as it started to pull back, I tried to exit the rest. And it went without me. It blasted past my limit order, so I had to drag my limit order on the chart, drag it down, and I got out here. So I lost kind of $1.80 from the highs. I probably lost. I'd say I lost about 70 or 80 cents on the back end of that trade. So whilst I ended up over $6,000 up on that, I should have been a lot. I should have been a lot more up on it. With just that one trade. So that was NNOX, and then after NNOX we traded after the bell. We didn't trade much at all until about an hour into the market actually. So I was waiting for something to move. I drew a little trend line here. I'll draw it here so that you can actually see the trend line. I drew a little trend line here through the highs, and as it came up to meet it here, it broke, pulled back, and then you got the breakout. So I got in on this move here, and I actually got in on the breakout. It was a bit of a fake out, so when it pulled all the way back to the VWAP, I doubled down on the position for the move back up. And it did move back up, and I was able to trade this move all the way up here to this point. And that was SNTG. I did come back and trade it a little bit later on this move up here as we broke new highs, able to get in there and ride that up. And I got out. I wasn't in it when it halted, and that was pretty much me done. Before I went for a walk, and I was kind of 19,000 up, I think, at that stage. So 19,000 up, 3 times over goal. Happy to walk away with 3 times over goal, but when I came back after trading SNTG, I traded GDC to start off with for a little bit. You see what happened here to start off with. So this is where people were talking about it, and I certainly wasn't trading it at this stage. So people were talking about it, and it halted, gapped up, pulled back, moved up again, very very volatile. Another halt, long halt. I think this was 11:22, and then it resumed at 11:53. So it was like a 30-minute halt. This one, and this is what people, as I was walking the dog, people were talking about it. And it gapped up, it moved up, then pulled back, and then it moved up again, and then into another halt. Gapped down this time, pulled all the way down, and then up into another halt, and it was just, that's just how it was moving. So then I was watching this. I was watching it on the 5-minute chart actually, because it's getting a bit choppy as it pulled back. I've missed this whole move. I came in and it was just making this spike up, and then it pulled back. So I started watching it on the 5-minute chart, and then it started to pull back. Came all the way down to 16, and the first candle that made a new high on the 5-minute was here. So I was able to get in there, and I got a nice little pop there, and I got stopped out as it started to pull back there, and putting again trailing stops. Then as it pulled back, I was again watching it on the 5-minute chart. Again, back in, and I was able to trade that there again, and it got stopped out again. So then a little bit later, it started to make a big move up. It pulled all the way below the VWAP. I traded, I think I traded Leju at this point. So yeah, Leju, this is where I traded Leju. So this started to make a move up, and on this move here, it halted. I was watching the halt. On resumption, it pulled back down, and then it started to make its move up. So I got in here, and I was able to trade this on the way up, and took some profits up at the top, and it came back down again. So I got in for like 750. And rode that up to over a whole dollar on that move on Leju, and I went in for took some profits. I went in for 5,000, scaled up, took some profits on that, and was able to get $12,500 on that. So yeah, I got in 750 and got out 950. So it was almost over a $2 move. There, and let's say anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 shares I had on Leju. So that was a reasonably easy trade. I think I've recorded that as well, so I'll see if I've got time, I'll edit that and put that in there as well. So that was Leju, and then as that started to pull back, I got back into GDC. We've got to pulling back here, and then it started to make its move back up again. And this is where I was able to trade it. And did I trade it? We got the move up. I got in here, so we got this this little horizontal here, so you can see where what I was looking at. So I got this pop up. Pull back onto the VWAP. I called it out in the Discord. I said it's looking for a VWAP bounce. Watch for the VWAP bounce. So I was able. I actually was able to watch that, and then it came and broke these highs. This is where I got in, and I got in heavy for 10,000 shares. And on the way up, I took half the position off, and it gapped up huge amounts. So it finished here 23.58. And it resumed at $27. So that's a $3.50 gap up, but it didn't just gap up; it then shot up. So I think I had a $1.50 stop in this, and it shot up, and then on the high there, it continued to move up, and I got stopped out here on this move. So I'm just a phenomenal move up, and I was just so happy to be able to take that. Getting stopped out on there, it's $1.50 was my trailing stop. So this went up to a high of 35.50. Now I did get some slippage, if I'm being completely honest. Because where I got stopped out was just over $33, I think it was. So good move up. That set me up for another couple of moves as this continued to move up. So this was the new high of day. Just duplicate this. This was the new high of day, and I was watching that for another move up, and as it broke that 35.50, I was able to get another $7 on this move up. So in total, I was able to get huge amounts on this move. Now it did flush down hard here. I was already out of it by then, and when it came a little bit later in the day, after close, it started to make its move up. I was already out of it by this stage. It looked to me like this was a kind of a double top scenario. I think I called out that it's looking like it's double topping now, so don't chase it. It flushed down into a halt, As soon as it flushed down into a halt, I was like, that's me done. I'm not doing any more. I did look at trading a couple of other things, but I didn't actually get in on them. So that was my biggest ever trade. So let's just zoom out a little bit. I'll put it on the 2 minutes so we can actually see where I started off here. I started off on this move here. I was able to get in here, $18. Couple of spikes up there, get that, and then I was able to get in here as we got moves up here and all the way up and then up there as well. So just unbelievable volatility. I mean, this move here, when you got the break of highs here, or the break of this previous resistance level here, kind of 1950. You're getting in there, 1950, and all the way up to this 20. This is so what's that? $15 move, and I had a $1.50 trailing stop in place. So no wonder it's ended up being my single biggest trade. Nearly $90,000 on that today. Just wonderful, just wonderful. If we could only have volatility like that every single day, I mean, that's just amazing, amazing volatility. Whilst it was very sharp, the swings were big. My confidence was roaring after last week, so I didn't feel, because I could see the range. It was like $2.40, I think, was the widest was the range. So I was prepared at one stage to give it like $3, $750 or $7,500 risk at one stage of the early stage going into it. Then once I'm like 30, 40, 50K up on it, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll go 5,000 shares. I'm holding 5,000 shares. I don't mind risking 10 or 15,000. So the latter moves were, I was just able to trade it at the top end at kind of $35. I was able to go in with larger size, knowing full well that if it breaks out, if it doesn't go my way, I could give it like a $3 move to the downside, and if it doesn't go my way, I'm still profitable by humans. That cushion on the day gives you so much confidence to be aggressive. That cushion on the day. And cushion on the ticker, and such a big cushion, I could afford to be, a little bit blasé with the risk management, and $3. I'll risk $3 maybe to make 5 or to make another 10, and I was able to make another 7. So yeah, that's the day's trading today. Normal day's trading. I just wish it was like that every day. It isn't. If only it was, I'd be a multimillionaire. But there you go. So look, I'll be back at it. I'll be back at it tomorrow anyway. I'll do some editing and I'll stick some. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you. There's not a lot to show because I showed you this yesterday. This is the. I just imported the trades in there so you can see trades. Let's have a look at let's have a look at my journal. Let's have a look at my equity curve today. So this is my equity curve today. So to start off with, a little bit shaky first thing, and then once I got in Hawaii, once I got because the spreads were a little bit rangy. Once I got profitable on Hawaii, I never looked back. Get green, stay green, get to goal, and then times 20. That's what I've done today. So yeah, I mean, this is my equity curve. I kind of got in there, got to 13,000, then up to kind of 19,000, and then it just took off. When I came back after walking the dog, it just took off, and every trade I took just went for me, and I've had my second best ever day. And my best ever trade, or biggest ever trade. Maybe not my best, but certainly my biggest trade. So that's my equity curve from today. And if I go back to the equity curve last Thursday, similar kind of scenario that it took a while before we actually It didn't take any trades pre-market. And then once we got green, we just took off. I think we didn't trade that much on the Thursday either. So Top Financial was just a tremendous stock to trade. And then we had Amazon after hours, which is this little ticker here, which is a very quick trade, which topped it off and took it over into six figures. So, you know, 2 6-figure days within, you know, 2 days of each other. So I had Thursday, then a big day on Friday, and then another one today. So, yeah, I mean, I've got to be happy with how the trading's got. I'm not saying it's because I took a little bit of a step back last week. Maybe I needed to get some headspace and not trade the same. Maybe that did help. Certainly, my confidence is really sky high at the moment. I've no doubt about taking trades and the breakouts that I'm seeing and the patterns that I'm seeing and calling, and I'm even calling it to the number in the Discord. I'm actually saying, look, there's the pattern I'm seeing. There's your breakout level. There's the what you should be able to achieve. I did it live on the stream this morning. I called out I think it was a double bottom, and the breakout level. Once it hit that level, it broke out. It moved up. Just didn't quite get to the original target that I set. It pulled back, but then when it did get to the target, it just blasted through that after the bell and went on and more than doubled the target. And yeah, that's the way I've been calling that this last couple of days. So look, I'm going to be doing it again tomorrow, an hour before the market opens. Hopefully this time it's going to be on a $500 account. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. Certainly the tax man and the bank manager is going to love me. But it's great to be able to rack in these big numbers. But can you do it with a small account? That's what we're going to find out. Can you do it with $500? I've done 20 times gold today. So I've tripled my equity position today. I just realized that as I'm talking right now. So I've had a $120,000 day. I started today with $63,000 in equity. So I've pretty much tripled my equity position today in one day. That you don't normally get that to happen. Now, doubling your account with a small account can happen, but with a larger account like mine, triple your account in a single day just doesn't happen. So this is why I suppose today is an even better day than Thursday, because at least last week, last Thursday, I had a large account to start off with and made about 48% gains on the account. Today I've made what, 200% nearly. I'd have to work it out exactly, but it's probably about 200%, maybe about 190, something like that. Look, as you can probably imagine, I've had a gin and tonic to celebrate, and I'm a little bit excited about today, and why not? It doesn't happen every day. So look, hopefully I'll get a good night's sleep. I'll calm down. I'll be able to do it all again tomorrow, but on a much smaller scale. So come join me tomorrow for the small account challenge. The challenge is 500 to 15,000. Can we get 500 to 15,000? If the volatility is like this, then I'm hoping that it will be. Then we should be able to do that by the end of the week. But no, in all seriousness, I have to be a little bit more conservative in my approach with a smaller account. So $500, that's where we're starting the small account. Come join me tomorrow, and hopefully it will be ready for takeoff. In the meantime, enjoy your evening. Take care.
A few moments later.
Here we go, here we go. No way.